Hey, what's up, guys? All right, so what we got going on today is that we are going to change out the transmission filter, fluid, and gasket on the transmission drain pan. We are also going to drain the torque converter and, just give a good little routine checkup. This is the kind of thing that costs about $1,000 at the Mercedes dealer. So I don't really have that kind of money. So I have to do that kind of stuff myself. However, I think it's pretty straightforward. I've seen a couple videos on it, so let's get into it. Okay, what we had to purchase was a dipstick. Mercedes is so cool that they make it possible for you to buy an extra dipstick. Really cool, awesome thing. The next thing is we're going to need the gasket. This is going to go on the tranny pan there. Then we're going to need our filter. I have parts degreaser. We're going to clean the inside of the pan with this. Rapid dry, no residue. That's kind of what we want. And then I'm going to use some brake cleaner to clean off the outside down there, being very careful where I spray that, but it's pretty gross. We have some kitty litter in case we have any spills out here. And then we have our ATF. You are also going to need a 27mm socket, wrench, and an extension. This is to turn the crankshaft. You will need a Torx 30 bit and also some garbage bags and a bucket. So careful. And last but not least, we have a drain pan. We are definitely going to need this. Let's get into her. Another thing. We're also going to need jack stands and a jack. Luckily, we have one. As well as a big piece of cardboard. Clean that off. You see how dirty that is? We have to clean that off first before we remove it because we don't want any of that dirt to get inside this pan here. Alright, so I'm trying to undo the drain plug and it's really tight, so it keeps on stripping. It's an Allen head, a number 5, and I tried a bunch of different things here. I even ran out to get a different brand new set of Allen keys thinking maybe my old ones were worn out, but it just didn't work. So I had to skip that and just drop the pan filled with fluid, and it was rough. Oh, Jesus. Oh. All right, so we got the drain pan off, and you can see that there's kind of like a very fine amount of metal. That's normal, but this part kind of worried me. In the filter itself, there were some very fine flakes. I don't know what to do. I put a new filter in there, and I'm gonna keep running it. It runs fine. So now for this part, what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning the outside of the pan with the brake cleaner and degreaser, but on the inside of the pan I'm using the parts cleaner, and I'm definitely trying to not put any foreign material in the pan. It has to be 100% sterile. And so now we have a nice clean pan. You saw me cleaning a little bit more on the outside of the actual transmission itself, just to make sure we're not going to get any foreign material or particulate in there. And here we go. Let's put this thing back in. The thing with the filter here is you put it in there and you'll hear it click, and that's all you have to do. And then you just want to make sure you do not hit the filter with the pan when you're putting that back in. All right, I really apologize for the shaky camera footage, but what I'm doing here is I'm taking this big wrench, I think it's a 27 millimeter, and I'm trying to get it on the crankshaft nut here, and then once I feel it seated, I put my extender on there, and then now I'm looking into the bottom of the torque converter. You can see it spinning here. Again, sorry for the shaky camera footage. But you see that torque converter spinning a little bit. What you want to do is you want to continue to turn the crankshaft until you see the drain plug. It's a small little plug with an Allen head, and then now I've found it and I am loosening it up. There it is. All right, so we've drained out this fluid, and now we are going to put the drain plug back in, tighten it down pretty good. You don't want to strip it, but you don't want it to be loose because it's going to be heating up and spinning pretty fast in there. And then giving everything a good wipe down so that if we do have any leaks, we'll be able to see where they're coming from. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm emptying all the transmission fluid into a quart and basically measuring out how much transmission fluid came out of the transmission itself, which turned out to be about 6.5 to 7 quarts. And then now we're just adding transmission fluid back in. Okay, so we filled up all the quarts of transmission fluid. A little side note on the dipstick itself is that it doesn't necessarily seat all the way down into the tube. For whatever reason, Mercedes doesn't design them that way. Different size tubes, I guess, come with different motors, but it's a little difficult to use the dipstick, I'll give you that. And that's why you need the cardboard. You know, it's slick for you to slide on, and it also absorbs some of the oil, so it's good to go. All right, so it's hard to see, but we're right in the middle of operating temperature levels, so I think we're good on the transmission service. Everything's great, doesn't leak. Oh, slash you in the face, it's all good. All right, bye-bye.